You like Dr. Dan? You like that way?
Yeah, that's fine.
Welcome back to Mind Your Own Business on Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS, and we are here with our first guest, Dr. Dan from Pure Wellness Center.
Dr. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
No, he's sitting up fairly straight in chair.
Oh. Is that
As he adjusts his posture.
That chair's kind of hard to sit up straight in.
A little bit. You should work on that.
So what percentage of the population do you think are like pro-chiropractic?
Pro chiropractic or have actually seen a chiropractor before?
Do the scene first.
All right. I believe the last statistics I saw is only about 10% of the population, the American population, has actually seen a chiropractor.
That sounds like such a low figure because most people I know are chiropractor fans.
There should be more and more. You're hanging out with the right crowd.
Yeah, at least they're straighter than some of the other people that are not going to chiropractors.
You know, as one that has been to a chiropractor, I happen to know that you don't go to a chiropractor just for when you're in pain.
Exactly.
The whole key to health is your nerve system and how the nerves transport the messages from the brain to every single part of your body.
You looking for a job?
Yeah, no, I was just saying he could be like.
And if any of that transmission is interrupted by any sort of blockage or impingement or anything, it causes overall health problems, and people just don't realize that.
Absolutely. Like you said, the nervous system runs through the spine, and the spine moves. And just like in your car, stuff can go wrong, and if it goes wrong, then the whole system breaks down.
So if your air conditioning fan is rubbing against a wire that controls the battery or something, and if that wire gets rubbed open and shorts out, you don't have a radio and you don't have a spark.
Exactly.
So bodies do that. At what point do doctors, chiropractors feel that you should have your back checked?
I am a big proponent of lifetime care. My daughter is 1.5 years old. She was adjusted about an hour from being born. You figure that birth process, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's a pretty traumatic event.
Pretty tight turns there.
Exactly, and a lot of pulling and yanking in weird directions, so you got to start your life off right.
Now, when you're that young, you don't hear the little pops.
Oh, of course not. It's a completely different adjustment. There's no big pops or, we don't do a lot of rotation, anything like that. It's mostly just about mobilizing the joints.
And making sure stuff's still lined up the way it should be.
Exactly.
Now, I have a big concern, and I'm always looking ahead at tipping points and such. When we were kids, we played, ball in the street, and we were athletic. I rode my bikes to the beach. A lot of sedentary kids now, but the concern I have is the permanent position their head is when they're playing on video games in their hands.
Absolutely.
Are you seeing even, it's been about, 5-6 years since the kids are getting stuff at one, getting an iPad and stuff. Are you starting seeing degeneration of spines that you've never seen before?
Oh yeah, it's starting to happen younger and younger. You figure your posture is what keeps your spine alive. And, in society right now, computers and tablets and smartphones, we're all walking around curled up looking at our smartphones, and so your natural posture just completely changes.
And that curve in your neck that's so critical to keep you from getting bone spurs, because I have a bone spur in my neck. I'm 53. I had back surgery in 94. I had a ruptured disc down in L1 and 2, and I had 2 herniated discs. And I'm pretty good. I've been getting massage and I've been getting chiropractic care. I was getting chiropractic before that. I think it might have been the entertainment center that I picked up with the 27-inch TV that might have dug me in, because I was a pretty beefy guy prior to messing my back up. But I'm much more sensitive to how I sit. I still have a hard time with the Facebook in bed with a laptop on your knees.
Of course.
Deal where your head's pushed forward.
Of course.
I have to sit at a desk and do it or something.
Absolutely. They refer to that curve in your neck that you're talking about. They refer to it as your arc of life. And every millimeter that comes forward when you lose a neck curve or get a reversal of the neck curve causes tension on the entire spinal cord below that. So that neck curve is very important.
So there's some chiropractors. Everybody's got their, the alleviation of pain process, and some people, well, I don't feel any pain, and they look like a Z when you're staring at them.
Absolutely.
Having pain is like the last.
It is. It's
kind of like any other disease. If you're sick and you're feeling pain, you're almost in too much trouble.
Absolutely. When it comes to pain is very individual to the person. You and I could both lop our arms off right here, and I could be running around screaming my head off. You could be fine. Pain is always the last thing to show up. And adversely, when it comes to chiropractic, it's usually one of the first things to go away also.
Yeah, so when you relieve the pressure that's on there, but you still haven't gotten rid of the bad curvature.
Exactly. There's many different kinds of chiropractic care. The more traditional, what people are used to is that pain relief. It hurts, go get it adjusted, come back when it hurts. The problem with that is not really fixing the problem, it just gets you to the next one. So really more corrective care, restoring the curvatures to your spine, also restoring the disc material is the most important thing.
Dr. Dan, I've always heard when you feel a cold coming on, first thing you should do is get it adjusted. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, what are you going to say? Nope.
Exactly.
Just wait until it's fully on bed.
I mean, that's what I do. I get adjusted first, just, pump lots of fluids and everything, take my vitamins, and that's usually the best thing. Your immune system is fed by your nervous system. So the nervous system runs everything.
So actually, you're saying that by getting that adjustment, even if you get it a regular one, that'll help your immune system?
Absolutely. Little adjustments to the spine, taking care of the nervous system. The nervous system takes care of the rest of the body.
Now, a lot of people, it's not cheap, especially without insurance, to go to a chiropractor every 3 days a week.
Sure.
A lot of what goes on, and I've been doing chiropractic for years, is doing exercises at home and laying on foam to get your back for 20 minutes or so.
Absolutely.
To get yourself in the right position again. Do you find people are just like cleaning their teeth, they don't lay on the foam?
A lot of times, yeah. The exercise is the most important thing.
We got to take a break.
Dr. Dan, can you hang over on the break for us?
Of course.
All right, thanks.
Notice people that drink use the word hangover more often. You're listening to Mind Your Own Business on Hometown Station AM 1220 KHTS. We'll be back with Dr. Dan in a moment.
Welcome back, everybody, to AM 1220 KHTS-Santa Clarita's Hometown Station. You are listening to Mind Your Own Business with Doug and Ed. We're on every Friday at 1 o'clock, and our special guest today is none other than Dr. Dan. Dr. Dan, I went to my regular doctor the other day. Now, it's been a few weeks, I guess. And I said something about going to my chiropractor, and he got a funny look on his face. Eyebrows, and he didn't even answer him. He didn't even say a word, but I could tell by his facial expression that he did not approve. Would you have any idea why that would be?
A lot of times when it comes to medical doctors working with chiropractors, it's pretty much just an ignorance aspect of it. They don't know what we do.
But those guys are smart.
They are smart. They just they're smart in their own field. They don't have a first-hand knowledge of exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it. What I would suggest for you, go back to your doctor, give him my card, and tell him I'd like to take him to lunch.
There you go.
Oh.
And he'll adjust the doctor. The doctor will hear what you're saying now, as we were saying.
Exactly.
That audio nerve was probably being blocked because of his spine being maladjusted.
Exactly.
And then he'll become a believer too. I think a lot of people, the idea of having stuff pushed around is not, I don't remember when I first started. I think it was when I started having problems with my back before the surgery. And I was probably going for a few years before it. And you go, well, if I was going to a chiropractor, why did I have to get surgery? And the reality is a lot of the stuff is degenerative, is that your discs are not holding up like they used to. They got injured and you didn't know it. And then if you adjust the discs around them, they take up the pressure. And the big thing I felt, when my core got really strong after my surgery, and they had us do exercises so that the muscles around your back keep things where they're supposed to be. And I think if you're crooked and your muscles are holding you up in that crooked position, one adjustment will not make the muscles go away to push it back where it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
To train it.
It's like going to the gym. You can't go to the gym once and be in shape
biceps.
And big biceps and all that. It takes repetition and it takes time.
Yeah. So with kids, if they if they get adjusted or they get exercises when they're like 9 or 10, does that prevent 20 years from now surgery? Or
It absolutely can. I mean, there's always the exception. I mean, if you go bungee jumping and your cord snaps and you compress your spine and fracture something, of course, a chiropractor at that point isn't going to do a lot for you. But a lot of times, chiropractic is more of a preventative maintenance.
Kind of like nutrition.
Exactly. Kind of like nutrition, kind of like
Wait a second.
brushing
I
your
see a
teeth.
commonality here. Doctors have very little training on nutrition and probably even less training on chiropractic, would you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And since they're trained to attack a certain disease, they're not looking at the whole picture.
In a certain aspect of it, yes. They don't preach prevention. It's not healthcare. It's sick care.
Right.
Think about it. When do you go to the doctor? When you're sick.
They don't want to cover when you're good, huh?
Exactly.
Dr. Dan, there's a lot in the news these days about healthcare, particularly the one that has our president's name in front of it.
Of course.
Do you have any idea how that's going to affect the insurance cases that you do handle now?
As far as I've seen coming down the pipe, there hasn't been a lot of change to it. I mean, insurance companies still have their hands in the pot and try to dictate care and everything. But the biggest thing with it is you need to be your own advocate for your own health. At the end of the day, it's your body, and you need to make the right decisions for what's right for you.
All right, we're starting to get close to the end of our time. What we'd like to do is, how can folks get a hold of you? When should they come see you? Do you have a website, phone number, address?
We sure do. We name of our business is Pure Wellness Center. We're located in Valencia. Our website is valenciapurewellnesscenter.com. Our phone number is 661-255-2516. We do all appointments. The first visit for an evaluation, if x-rays are needed, we do at no charge to you. So
Wait, say that again?
we do it at no charge to you.
Say it
If
one
you
more
have
time.
a 25 score.
If you have a 25 scorecard, but we do it at no charge to you. It gives us a chance to evaluate you and see if you're even in the right place. See if it's something that we can help with.
Okay, what's the phone number again?
It's 661-255-2516.
One more time.
661-255-2516.
And where's your office located?
We are on Cinema Drive, right in between the Stonefire Grill and California Freshworks.
Yeah.
Right in between those two complexes. We're in the back by the fountain.
Very good. And what's the website again?
valenciapurewellnesscenter.com.
It sounded like a test.
Yeah.
Do you still know your phone number? I had one question before you go. Is that when you feel that you're getting a little ill to get adjusted? I've heard the opposite. If you're feeling sick and you get a massage, that the cold will come on quicker. Is that a fallacy or is that true?
It can be true for some people.
Your circulation spreads it around.
Getting the circulation pumping. A lot of times with those massages, they're working out muscle tension, and a lot of that muscle tension is lactic acid. Lactic acid releases back in the system, and it kind of makes you feel a little cruddy,
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Dan, we appreciate you coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, maybe you can come back sometime.
Absolutely.
All right.
Would like to see your bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're listening to Mind Your Own Business, a hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS. We'll be
Thank
back
you.
in a minute.